Adrian Fahrenheit Tepes here, and this is another volume of Whatever Happened to the Game, a podcast that running on either Wednesdays or Thursdays each week, describing what happened to your favorite video game franchises. The following is 3 episodes of recommended retro games, so games from the past, recommended, including recommendations for myself as well as a guest of mine, Albelio, on the show. So we're going to take a look at 3 episodes and nearly 2 hours of fun from this series. I hope you all have a wonderful time enjoying these episodes, and as it premieres, I hope you have a wonderful time reminiscing about the past and learning some things you may not have previously known about these favorite video game franchises. Without much further ado, let us begin. All right, Adrian Tepes here. This is a new presentation. Guests may come here as invited, but for the most part, I'm leading this presentation today. It is about whatever happened to the Alien games. So there have been numerous YouTube channels and social media that have been focusing on doing movie review marathons in the light of the release of Alien Romulus. I decided instead of going through the Alien films, I would go through the Alien games. So I recommend Steam. It has its sale, and of course it gets more convenient now with the fact that you can go and play GOG games using Amazon Luna on your mobile device. You can stream it to your mobile device, like your tablet, your computer, your phone, and play it that way. It's rather convenient, and like Steam, GOG.com, you only need to download the installer files, and then you can just have the game installed on your computer without internet connection, unless you're trying to do multiplayer on those games from GOG.com. Now, as we're going forward, there is another little bit. I'm going to go to my recent works. I have had a couple of recent ones. I've talked about the Lords of Shadow Timeline. Links to these will be in the description, by the way, when I'm done. And Whatever Happened to the Game, Volume 1, a series of retro game recommendations from myself and also from a guest of mine during those live streams known as Albelio. We'll have a link to that big collection in the description as well. So, the Alien game scene began quite a while ago. And it happened way back with the Commodore 64. It happened in the 80s. Video games were somewhat of a crash thing before Nintendo really started picking up with the NES system. So it was an interesting time. A very interesting time, rather, on the game scene. So we had Alien, based on the first Alien movie, although it can differ a little bit. So I'm going to go and show a little bit of footage. So as you can see, this is the intro screen colored. And a little quote here from Joseph Conrad. So this game starts with the manual. The image that shows to you when you read it. It's really old. It came out in 1984, shortly after, like 5 years after the release of Alien in theaters in 1979.
So you have your crew members, you can switch between them, and you're trying to find the alien using all your crew members. So it's a strategy game. You can choose things, okay? What strength do you want the alien to be? How big do you want the ship to be? That you do a little traveling around in this maze. Pretty primitive, obviously. Very primitive. Pretty primitive. So here you're selecting Ripley, go to this one, see if the alien's in there. Brett, check this. Okay, check this room. So it's a type of strategy game, and when the character, and if you find the alien, get rid of it, you might have a very different outcome from what the original game shows. So it gets interesting in that way. Very interesting. So where do you want Brett to go? So yeah, I'm going to go back to the presentation in a little bit, but of course you're giving them items like flamethrowers, and you can of course kill the alien and get it out and still have your crew alive, unlike the actual movie. So it's interesting. Very old strategy game and very old experiment into the realm of aliens in video game form. So it's the first step. It's a big pioneering movement into the Alien franchise when it comes to video games. So it was developed by Paul Clancy and distributed by Argus Press Software. Very small development team, very primitive game for the Commodore 64 in the dark age when NES was going to pick up the slack, 1985 and beyond, with the NES or the Famicom PC. So it's text, choose your own adventure, combined with, you see a map of the Nostromo. Now, they have another one, Aliens, the computer game. This is released for more than just Commodore 64. You can also get it on Apple II. Again, floppy disk game from 1986, the year of Aliens being released in late summer. And this was in the fall, so a few months afterwards. So we're going to go. So it's very much a Steve Cartwright, Glenn Anderson, but it's very much the type of arcade game. So you play as the various Marines and Ripley. But here I'm going to skip ahead, but you could have a combination of walking around. Very old game. But you obviously have an intro, and then you see your weapons. So pulse rifle, flamethrower, so on. You can choose items you're going to bring with you. So pistol, you're going to bring that with you. Or which one are you going to do here? Flamethrower. Now here, this is mostly just piloting and making a landing. So it switches from piloting, vehicular driving, and just being a Marine shooting at aliens. And it's mostly what you call rail shooting, where you have the computer controlling your view and where you're looking at, controlled for you, but you control the aim of the gun. So you've probably seen rail shooters in the arcade. You've probably seen House of the Dead, Maximum Force, Area 51 in the arcades. Consoles. This is what this is very similar to, only it's for a PC. Now this is the part where you're controlling the actual soldiers. You walk around 4 different directions, aim and shoot if you find an alien. And this is just saying the stats of your other team members. So your other team members so far, they're alive. And this one shows how you are. This little part right here shows how you are controlling this particular player. And here's your motion tracker, the kind of radar to say, oh, aliens are coming at you from these directions. Now here's where the action gets intense. You finally found a group of aliens, so you obviously just aim them up and down to shoot at aliens as they come at you in waves. Good old arcade gameplay. Yeah, the sound is not that good. Early stages of gaming. And you have a few items. You have flares to make things more visible in the dark. Oh, that was close. Very close. So going back to this, it's interesting. And you didn't play as Ellen Ripley at the end, but this is the second Alien game. Now there's the arcade scene. So this was 4 years after the movie in 1990, so a little bit before Alien 3, but a few years after Aliens. And you go and take a look at the playing as Ripley. Obviously, they switched Ripley and Newt in terms of hair color. They made Ripley blonde, but it's interesting. This is by Konami, and I'm going to be here. I'm just going to take a brief little break. Take a look at this as it goes. 1986, but this arcade game came out in 1990, so it's run and gun. So rather simple gameplay. I mean, you've probably seen it with numerous other run and gun games, like RoboCop versus Terminator. Yeah, and they obviously censored a bit, like full-grown aliens coming out of eggs and not facehuggers. Whatever. So there you see Newt. You want to find her and flamethrower these aliens. And obviously, like any arcade shooter, you get your nice little upgrades to your guns. So this game is being played right now as one player, but you can do 2 players. One player is Ripley, another one is Hicks. But there's so many little alien variants to it. It's interesting.
Come on.
All right. This has gone about long enough. I'm going to be moving forward to other items in this live stream. Or rather, I'll get it forward here. So yeah, this is single player. But after this, the arcade, there was more as Alien 3 had come out, and then you then had the SNES Sega Genesis as an option for console gaming. So console gaming made its comeback in the 90s. Well, it was more certain and solid that console gaming was coming back. So we next had our other part, the 1990s console scene. So we had Alien 3. That's what made it to consoles primarily. Had a Sega Genesis adaptation and SNES adaptation. The difference came with the Game Boy version, which I'm going to go and get that up for you. This one is mainly a side scroller. So this one, it's side scroller, laserly, but it doesn't go obviously the way the film does, or else you wouldn't really have much of a game plot that way, where you're working on fighting the individual alien. You have instead multiple aliens, and this goes to the other version of Alien 3. So all right, let's go in here. So this is the Game Boy version, obviously more primitive because it's a portable system, portable console. And thank you to longplace.org for providing this video. So as you go into this, there's obviously simple screens and there's top-down gameplay. So this is somewhat similar to, say, True Lies, if you ever played that on SNES, based on the film with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. Top-down, you run around shooting and collecting whatever it is you need when it comes to weapons or equipment. So obviously you have a map screen and you have an inventory screen. So when you start off, you have nothing. You just grab an electric prod and that's how you get started. Then eventually you have to find keys, unlock these spots, and get items such as flamethrower, rifle, and so on. As the game progresses, you get bigger aliens like warriors, queen, and so on. So this whole game is you wander around like a Metroid game. And there's flamethrower ammo. So as you go around like a Metroid game, you unlock new areas by finding keys. You get new weapons. Then you have a set number of objectives to complete. So you want to kill the queen and get off the planet. So here we got the blowtorch. And you have limited inventory as well. And you have a limited number of lives. Each time you have a life lost, you this is where you have the rifle, but you got to be careful not to get pulled into the fan. You have the switches, but yeah. So now we're going back to Alien 3, which is different here because it's Sega Genesis. But just like the Alien 3 on the Game Boy, you have many aliens, obviously, because how do you make a video game? Demo screen. This is the real thing now. You should crawl through fence, go around shooting rifles. So, pretty old school thing. But it's Alien 3 for you. And it has levels or stages that you play through. Now, you also have Alien Trilogy and Alien Resurrection on the PlayStation console. Those were both the first-person shooters. And that was the late 90s. So Alien Resurrection was one of the later PlayStation games that came out in 2000. Alien Trilogy came out in 1997. So both pretty interesting. So as we're going to do next, there was another franchise after the 1990s. So there was first a Dark Horse Comics to start Alien vs. Predator. Way back in 1989. That was the comic that started it all. It gets interesting because there's different Alien vs. Predator games. There's Alien vs. Predator Last of Its Kind. That's a Game Boy or portable game. There's Alien vs. Predator for Super Nintendo. It's a beat-em-up game like Final Fight or Double Dragon. And there's Alien vs. Predator Arcade. The one I have the video clip for is will make it easier to watch is Alien vs. Predator Arcade. Capcom, and it's crazy because Dutch Alan Schaefer from Predator is one of the guys you can play as. So Los Angeles got taken over by aliens. There's Dutch and the Chinese one there. Yeah. The Predators show up and they decided to deal with Dutch now, even though they tried to kill in the first one. I guess they do have a code of honor. So there's the opening. Insert coin, choose your characters. It's nice to hear that opening title. Time to hunt. So there's two human characters and there's the two Predator characters. Starts in Los Angeles and it moves on to other places. Which means you want to survive. So you want to choose Dutch, okay. Lynn Kurosawa. This is good. They're playing as one of the two Predators. just goes on the other name was better than. So thank you to Long Place for this one. Ooh, $24.93. This is the SNES one. Yeah, they are Sullivan. They're great. They're very interesting. This is the beat 'em up on the Final Fighter Double Dragon. Vega 4. Man. So the aliens break out of mine, but you get to play like it's Final Fight with Predator. Or less. So you get Predator weapons, but you can also get commander in these guys. Spirit of the Fit one of mine, but this is cool too. The boomerangs. So as you go a little farther, you get the Yep, all the aliens and you get from the movies and more. Pretty cool. All right, so the music's kind of catchy too. But yeah, more about SNES. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna move forward from here, but it's interesting as this Alien versus Predator thing started. And we're going to continue next week with a similar idea. So we're going to continue with the Alien vs. Predator because that carried on into the 21st century, as there were other Alien vs. Predator. But right now, I'm going to talk about some items here. Still on Steam. So they have Satisfactory 1.0. That's now available. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection on sale, where you get the various Marvel vs. Capcom games. And it also is coming up next. So there's Whatever Happens to the Alien Games Part 2. It's going to be pretty good. But in the meantime, I want to thank you all for coming by. And thank you very much for stopping by. I expect a longer episode next week. And it should be pretty interesting. I have things to get ready for it. But in the meantime, same channel, I'll have more of this Alien for you. So thank you for stopping by. And be safe out there. And until we meet again, farewell.
All right, so here is another episode of Whatever Happened to the Game. This is part 2 of talking about the Alien games as they came out. So here again, Adrian Fahrenheit Tepes, and joining me today is Albelio. Thank you for joining me.
Hello, how are you?
It seems to be more of our alley, because now we both have apparently played Alien versus Predator. That part of the Alien games, when in the late 90s and early 2000s up until 2010, they were releasing games based on the Alien versus Predator concept, which began in Dark Horse Comics back in 1989. I'm surprised it was that long ago. That means that basically it's before even Predator 2, which was released in 1990. So going on, we recommend Good Old Games by CD Projekt Red. So have you had any good games you got off of GOG, Albelio?
I don't really use GOG, but I have used Warcrafts 1 and 2, and they work beautifully on there.
It's funny because they gave away Warcraft 2 to me on GOG, and I finally just decided to just play it for the fun of it, because I've only played 3. I mean, 3 was great for multiplayer, and this custom games like War Chasers or Dota. Before Dota was a Steam game, it was on Warcraft 3. So
yeah, I remember the good old days myself. They're gone.
Well, what's crazy enough was that I found that I get the remasters for StarCraft and Warcraft 3 automatically by just using the installer from Battle.net. So they'll just, because I'm installing it, they'll give me the remaster version. So for being away so long, I guess it pays because I bought it earlier.
Sweet.
And also recently, GOG works on Amazon devices. So Amazon
cool.
Luna on an Amazon tablet will play these GOG games. Not all of them, but some of them, which I think is great.
Cool.
So
glad to see it's expanding.
Yeah. I mean, I tried the Xbox Live trial for about a month where I played it Xbox games on my phone. It's not quite as good as Steam yet. I mean, it depends on me having a really good internet connection to live stream the game from a cloud server to my device.
Yeah.
So here is
Here is our recent works. I had a somewhat recent video. This is from a few months ago where I talked about Lords of Shadow as an alternate timeline, and of course, your most recent Rings of Power review.
Yeah, that legendary debacle now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's finally up. It's out. People can enjoy it. And now I got to catch up thanks to Amazon.
Yeah, I got frustrated with copyrights myself. You can probably see in my early videos where I just did still frames with a little animation like the frame moves. Because I was frustrated with the actual video clips being copyright claimed. I just went still frame.
They were tagging even the still frames on a lot of them. Drove me
Really?
nuts.
Wow.
Oh yeah, dude. The depths of annoyance I delved into was my own, like the 10th circle of hell.
Dante's Inferno. Huh?
Basically, yeah. Like I would like there was I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but for those who have, there's a moment where I make fun of the guy who uses like a smoke charge because the Harfoots go tumbling down a hill, and when they get to the point where they're supposed to stop and sprawl, the tech misses his timing and detonates the smoke charge off screen and late, so they've already stopped moving, and then the charge goes off. And in order to do that, the first time I did it was just like two unedited clips that like were put together, and they tagged it. Okay, no problem. Then I did a still image of the ladder, and they still tagged it. And then I shifted the timing. And even though it was a still image of the same moment, so it's like 5 seconds of video, and then the last frame is a still to show where the screw up is, so that I can zoom in and put the cursor in. They still tagged that. Dude, I was losing my mind. I was about to tap out. And it was only this episode.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, getting more back to what we were going to, this is a brief recap. So we were talking about how in the dark age, when consoles crashed, Alien and Aliens got their start on PC as floppy disk games.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Alien in 1984 on Commodore 64, basically a kind of strategy game where you arrange what various members of the crew do to try and find the alien and kill it. Obviously, you can deviate greatly from what happens in the actual movie Alien, but it's a fun way of looking around in rooms, making text choices on your screen. And it's the first Alien game they came up with. Second was Aliens on both Apple II or Commodore 64, also a floppy disk game, and a set of 6 mini games meant to reenact the events of the Aliens film. So that was the start, and just talking about the 90s starting with Alien 3 and Alien Trilogy, Alien Resurrection. A lot of it was Sony PlayStation again, because PlayStation had the hardware before the Xbox to really handle FPS the way these games worked.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now in the 90s, after Dark Horse introduced this in comic books in 1989, they decided to make video games based off of Alien versus Predator. So they had Alien versus Predator on Game Boy, Last of His Clan, Alien versus Predator on Super NES, and Aliens versus Predator Arcade by Capcom. So, yeah.
I did play a lot of that Super Nintendo arcade.
Yeah, I found it funny after I watched Predator, realized, okay, and I'm going to actually show footage from Alien vs. Predator Arcade. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
So
very intimidating when you have to fight the gorilla alien in the sewers, and then you're just like you just like tap it and it falls over with embarrassment.
I think the funny part of the
It's just that you're playing it like Double Dragon or Final Fight, only you're playing it as Predator. But I like the arcade. It's so funny how it begins. It's like, you want to live? Come with us. Which is like fourth wall breaking Deadpool humor, referring to the Terminator. And it gets even better because you play as the Predators are best buddies with Alan Dutch Schaefer from Predator 1, the guy played by Arnold in the first Predator movie. He said, hey, let's be best buddies and kill aliens now. Here, I'm going to take out the banner just so you can see the cheesy dialogue here. Yeah, we're your friends now. We want to kill aliens together. Okay.
I like how the only thing they changed was the helmet for that shot.
Yeah. So yeah, you can play as Alan Dutch from Predator, and I'm not trying to remember anywhere in the Alien franchise there was someone called Kurosawa. Maybe not, but I'm sure she has to be a reference to a character from somewhere in the Alien franchise. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, I'm actually unfamiliar with her character, but I do love that Arnold came back technically, and he's as American as ever.
Yeah.
Dude's chin is built like a Yautja's.
But now they don't care. That's like, hey, you want to kill aliens? Come with us. So I do like how the arcade has two different kinds of Predator. One of them has slower attacks, but he does more damage when he hits. The other one's faster, which helps you when you're trying to evade or prevent yourself from getting cornered when they're attacking you.
I love that out of the blue, they're just like, by the way, pizza, and the coach is just like,
that's actually his traction disc, his boomerang disc from Predator.
No. Just a moment ago, he killed one of the Xenos and out popped a pizza. Like it was like Ninja Turtles back in time.
There's a can of beer right there.
Yeah.
I guess Predators drink beer now, huh?
Pretty much.
Whoa. So yeah, it's a beat 'em up game, but
it's a trap.
It's just funny where all the places they went with the different alien variants in both the arcade and the Super NES. Oh, cheese. Kind of matches. This game is cheesy, but it's good. It's fun, kind of cheesy. If you ever get to go into an arcade and play one of these consoles with your friend. I'm gonna move on a little bit to get to SNES that we've been talking about so far.
Sure.
I find it funny that some of these games don't know if they're really R-rated or not. It just starts with the aliens casually holding a person. I mean, I don't know. Let me see what this is rated for a minute.
Pretty sure it was like KA, right?
Oh yeah.
Like kid to adult.
It might even be before the ratings because the MPAA ratings for games were 1983.
Yeah, true. Which is such a goofy. Like I get why it happened, but there were way worse games than Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, there were. But I don't know. I mean, like True Lies, based off the movie with obviously Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't think that was rated that high. I'm trying to remember what early rated M games they had besides Doom.
Primal Rage was like the main competitor. It was actually Yeah, because like in Primal Rage, you were you would, one of the fatalities was basically to piss on your opponent.
Or it was really funny how Street Fighter 2 was like created team for team, you see Kimmy's ass.
Yeah, basically.
But it's always funny in the SNES one how there's always like predator weapons flying around.
Mm-hmm. And I know there are way fewer objects and everything because clearly the Super Nintendo cannot like handle things as well as the Sega could. But
right, but picking up the alien head points, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
How did you cut their head? Oh, I just punched their head off.
Basically.
Oh. Actually, I want to skip ahead to the ice world because that was funny too. I love this one so much. The shark alien.
Stupid gorilla alien was so dumb.
Yeah, you just keep repeating the same thing over and over.
Such a long and tedious fight for like no good reason.
Just slide. This is probably my favorite stage of the whole one. Just jumping down deeper and deeper in the snow.
Yeah, it's like you're descending the mountains of Nars from Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, it does look similar to Nars, come to think of it. The only part that annoyed me in this one is how you couldn't really fall off the edge. But
yeah, just to speed up the process.
Yeah.
I like how there's basically just like a xenomorph in the background in the hive.
Yeah.
Oh no! Never mind. That's a dead person.
Yeah.
I thought there was just a Xeno in the background. Like, I'm not getting in this.
Here's the 8.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there were gorillas on an ice planet.
Right.
And then there's also just the tone of the music in this game. Like it's so upbeat.
Right.
Even though you're playing a game that's based off R-rated horror franchises from Fox.
Mm. Yeah, they literally showed just in the background like a bunch of burst out ribs, and yet everyone's like, nah, it's fine.
So we're gonna be going over to another one next. After this.
Mm-hmm.
So after the original games, here is where it picks up with really go into first-person shooter territory.
Yeah, I'm much more familiar with these ones.
Yeah,
I should go through and play the old Alien games. I have that arcade one up here on the shelf.
Alien vs. Predator arcade or Aliens?
Yeah,
arcade?
yeah, the one we just saw, the SNES one.
Yeah. So these are pretty good. Unfortunately, only 2 of them are actually available on GOG.com or Steam, or you can watch them on YouTube. Because Aliens vs. Predator 2 was done by Sierra, the people involved in developing the first Half-Life game, as well as Empire Earth. Unfortunately, the rights went into limbo, so the Rebellion ones, the first and third, are the ones that are fine being distributed on Steam and GOG. Aliens vs. Predator 2 is in limbo, so you need to own the disc either for PlayStation 2 or PC, or we just can't get it. It's a bit ridiculous, but I still think the first and third somewhat make up for it. I believe Rebellion Software was busy, so that's why they had Sierra develop Aliens vs. Predator 2. But that's just the unfortunate thing. Sometimes that we end up having lost games in this world, and Aliens versus Predator 2 was one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, but we will have some footage from Alien versus Predator 2 coming up as we go through this one. So this will be the Predator campaign from Rebellion Software's 1999 game. Actually, I don't want to skip the cinematic. Why did I skip that one? There, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
So these
Good old MOVs.
Yep. And such a perfect homage about how they did the triple laser sight from the Predator movies in this. But yeah, the one thing I liked so much about these games was how they chose the setting. So for these games, they said, hey, we'll do it after Alien 3, so it doesn't really conflict as much in the timeline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like so many of the other comics and everything else.
Yeah.
Put it in the universe, but separated enough that it can still technically exist without messing with the canon.
Right. But I think the other interesting part is that you have 3 campaigns. The one I haven't completed yet is the Alien one. But yeah, it is kind of interesting too because the villain ends up being the same no matter what. In a way, because it ends up being the corporation Weyland Yutani that's your main enemy, no matter what.
Of course.
It's cool how it's a different reason every case. Because if you're an alien, you want them off your territory. If you're a predator, you don't want them making more aliens, so they need to be killed off. And human, you want to escape them trying to kill, use you for their own means.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't care for this game and the other AVP one, not the big like 360 release, but this one and its sequel, is the super fast, Quake style movement. It's just like this does not fit AVP.
It gets much worse with modern machines, obviously, because they can just easily process all the data in this game so easily.
Mm-hmm.
So, before they had the ability with GOG.com or Steam to do this game, I tried running it on my computer that was from, 2004, and this game ran so ridiculously fast, I couldn't respond to it because my computer just processed it so quickly.
Yeah, it's annoying. It drives me nuts.
So
I used to play Quake all the time. Like I have the reflexes to be able to keep up with it, but it's like eventually in the fray you're gonna get hectic and you're just gonna lose it. And it like running around at this kind of speed does not like play accurately for what a predator should be doing.
Right. I mean, I figure that if you're a predator, your perception would be kind of similar to real life. You're, in a fighting tournament, and your perception isn't exactly. It seems to be a little like slowed down slightly because you're just reacting to so much.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'll talk in our later game recommendations when I talk about the Matrix games or Max Payne, and that's where I kind of like those games because they kind of felt convincing with their slow motion mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent. Even the needles.
Mm-hmm.
more or less. I'm gonna go get to the human campaign real quick because I like how the human one starts. It starts as a big major look. Oh wait, you missed that one? Oh come on! I like the nightmare at the beginning. You think that you got face huggered, but it's just a nightmare to be a kind of major look. Haha.
Mm-hmm. And like what we saw earlier before the dream, it's like this. I like these little in-game MOVs. They're so charming.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty amazing how they got these decent quality videos on the wall in the game. You know, back in 1999. 2000 if you're considering the special edition.
Mm-hmm. Get your ass to the area. You know, he was really trying so hard not to say get your ass to Mars.
Oh, he's trying not to laugh. You can see it too. When he said it, he's holding back ears to laugh. I can't blame him. But yeah, this part, I like this because you can only use a flashlight or your motion sensor. You can't use both. So, no, I mean night vision or your radar. But you can't use both.
Mm-hmm.
But
careful, Private. We've lost contact with the ops team. We're getting some weird signals down there.
the one thing that got a little bit ridiculous is how you never run out of flares. Flares would take up some space. I mean, you could carry quite a lot of flares, but I'm sure there'd be some limit there. But I feel it kind of worked with the lighting, like you saw right there.
Yeah. Oh, every game that actually had lighting effects like this shit was tense. You know, it's sort of like what they did with Doom 3 before they ruined the lighting in
right,
BFG edition.
BFG was when you had the flashlight on your gun, which is, that's how real special forces and SWAT teams work now, but it didn't have quite the scare factor from the original.
Exactly.
You had all the flashlight in your hand or the gun in your hand, but not both. And, eventually I got used to Doom 3 because you could see, if you were carefully looked, you could see the red eyes for the monsters in the dark.
Yeah. And that was good. And so I get why you have so many flares, but the flares are also very limited in how they operate.
Right.
This is good.
Right. And part of it too was just the fact that, Alien is meant to be horror. Doom was violent arcade for the most part, with some dark spots in the originals. I'm not going to discount those.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt the dark part of Doom 3 was a good step into how actual 3D Doom should work. Wow. Just turn your night vision on. Come on. So I'll get to the Alien one next. Alien campaign from this next. Oh no, here it is. Actually, we'll get back to it in a minute. But yeah. So this is from Alien vs. Predator 2010.
Yep. Yeah, this is probably considered to be the best game in the franchise.
Oh, I agree. I felt the cinematics were quite a bit better. Just, yeah.
More out, motherfucker.
Listen to the Predators make that. I got you.
I don't know why you wouldn't send them out first. I know it's better for dramatic purposes, but still.
Right. I always thought it was maybe to even the score a bit, so now it's just the people and they don't have any fire support, but they're warships.
Mm-hmm.
But it introduced quite a bit, like now you can see that they're Predator vessels float too, not just them.
Yeah. And it's not just a drop pod. This is an actual ship.
Cool. Right, shuttle sometimes.
That was always a goofy thing. It's like, well, find out what happened to the others. It's like, they just landed. Are they already dead?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the original because, like, find the captured Predator and kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You faced off against Xenos before. It ain't the Xenos that got me.
I mean, it was just text, but it said in the original Alien vs. Predator, like, this is not a hunt, this is an extermination.
Bang.
Yes.
No more Marlin. We don't know who.
I never really did play the multiplayer for this, but man, I sank so many hours into this single player.
Oh, I played for a brief time on Steam. The original Alien vs. Predator had some multiplayer games going, and it was interesting because there was a race to see who could get the most alien kills, or who could last the longest with waves of aliens coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like essentially the forerunner to what you think of in Call of Duty Zombies. Yeah, only it's aliens running at you.
Yeah.
Not zombies.
Sounded like it came from here.
Oh, ouch.
Sounds must bounce around this place.
He didn't hear his own guy get killed.
Stand down. Hold tight, I'll be there.
Gotta love how
They had the mechanics so you could like just use their own weapons against them. That was.
oh yeah.
That
It's
was a good
just
part.
funny that like mechanically it's like, oh, I have to be on the lookout. I know that enemies are around us. And then a very clearly, obviously, like not human sound is being produced, and he's like, I'll go check it out.
But the craziest part is you could trick humans into thinking there's another human, and you're obviously an alien.
Yeah.
Wait, so the predators are ventriloquists now.
Pretty much.
Be right there. Sounded like it came from here.
And they obviously learned human cursing too, for some reason.
Contact at 25 plus. Unknown hostile. I'm under attack. You think I'm gonna stay out here longer than I have to? What's the
Over
problem?
here.
I'm under attack. I have to run for my life. Over here. On my way. That's because that's all from that same era from like Oblivion. It's like,
Yeah.
if you give me a septum, I can get a new pair of shoes. Oh, the Gray Fox? He's over there. It's just like what the hell?
And remember, we never spoil who the Gray Fox is. People have to uncover that mystery for themselves.
Yeah. It's just so goofy that they would hard shift as much as they did.
Right. This is also the time where they had Oh, wait, Metal Gear Solid 4 was 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm trying to remember what was 2011. Oh, that was Deus Ex Human Revolution was 2011.
Mm-hmm.
That was. Then it was Metal Gear Solid 5, 2014. Oh, first Alien. Yeah, the one thing I like about this is the improvement as a sequel is just the fact that you can have an actual multi-move. I mean, it's somewhat realistic that you can kill an alien with one shot in the original, but it's like first person. What do you call it? First person boxing, maybe.
Pretty much. It's like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but you can actually win.
Yeah, more or less. Wow. So we're gonna go back to stage, and yes, I'm gonna try and pull up Alien vs. Predator 2 because I still have a sad feeling that because that game is in the graveyard of copyright.
Ah.
Ah, here it is. There it is. Now I have an Alien. Because this is the first one of the Alien vs. Predator game where
I was gonna ask, what'd you say? I couldn't hear you over the Trump shit.
yeah, that was slightly realistic there. So it was the first one where you could play as an alien, starting off as a baby facehugger, and you have to survive from then forward.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
So, while this game is essentially dead, we still have it on YouTube thanks to these wonderful gamers who helped provide it for us. But yeah, this is how you start. You start off as a baby, and you have to make it along without people getting you. And it's funny because people as a face hugger, you can die from being stepped on. So you have to. I'm not sure where this. When did the whole idea of being like tiny and someone could crush you come to games? I think it was Duke Nukem 3 or something.
Oh, I don't know. I would imagine like at least Mario, if that be the case.
Yeah, because in this game, when you start off, you can't let people step on you, and you think that would actually kill the person too with the acid, but whatever.
You also told us to expect 9 containers. We received 17.
I don't want to hear excuses. Get it done.
Uh-oh. Set a bunch of missing containers. I wonder what's in them.
The loss of Pod 5 is a major blow.
Setbacks are to be expected.
Yes, Dr. Eisenberg, but the committee is still waiting to see progress.
We've made
good
considerable
old Deus
strides in
Ex graphics.
deciphering the alien chemistry.
Yeah,
The committee
actually,
wants
Unreal
commercial
graphics or
applications.
Quake
You promised
graphics,
cures.
but I think
Instead,
this
they
is
hear
the Unreal
stories of
Engine right here.
unauthorized research. There's even a rumor you want to try to harness and control the hive.
I'm not responsible for what politicians choose to believe.
I would hate to see your entity jeopardize your future.
It's
I
funny
don't want to
watching
let this
these
project get away from
cinematics
me. File
from
that
these
in
old
your
games.
report.
So
It's
this
like
was
playing the Jaws game all over again.
or Morrowind.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You're late. What's that?
The package is larger than normal, so is your payment. As always, do not open it.
Oh yeah, and this is the game where the members of the Weyland Yutani Corporation always had those suits covering their head as well. And they even made different chest bursters than normal people. So what did the corporation do with their people? that they have different aliens coming out of them.
I'll be right out.
What, Wayland Yutani, what did you do
What's
with
the
your
problem?
employees to make dog aliens
Richter,
pop out of
General
their
Rykov wants
bodies?
to see you now. You gotta be kidding. I'm scheduled for departure in 15.
Schedule's changed. Get moving.
Oh, come on, Lloyd. Give me a
I
break.
know it's the Wayland
Let's go,
Yutani
Hotshot.
symbol, but it just looks like he's walking around as a Astra Militarum from Warhammer.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I don't think you're supposed to drop that package.
Right.
So, I think the Alien one, this is probably the best Alien campaign of the Alien vs. Predator games. Because it's,
Okay.
you essentially have to go and kill the heads of the corporation. Go back to Earth and kill them. That's how revenge,
Don't sass me, soldier.
how brutal revenge plot is.
Okay.
Of course, and I don't want to spoil too much from Alien vs. Predator 3 or 2010 because there is the plot reveal, and it's cool they got the actor from Aliens to voice the character again. They got Lance Henriksen back for that one.
Yeah, he's in so many of them.
Right. Oh, he's in the. Oh, right. He was in the bad Alien vs. Predator movie too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he was in the first AVP as the original,
Bishop.
the original Bishop.
Well,
He was
Charles.
Yutani.
Yeah. Charles Bishop.
Wayland, sorry.
Yeah.
Bishop Wayland.
Yes, Charles Bishop Wayland.
Why aren't you men at your usual posts?
And it's funny because even though I'm guessing that Ridley Scott disregarded canon,
Just drop it all.
I originally thought in Prometheus that Peter was Charles' son.
Specimen samples, all kinds of stuff.
Mm.
Check the log.
Because it's funny because I guess they don't regard continuity, but Peter Wayland's big invention that got him started was creating an artificial lung out of synthetic material. And
He didn't get kicked out.
Charles Bishop had lung cancer.
One of the bears told me.
Yeah.
You believe a mercenary?
Well, oh, it's because you know as well as I do that
Someone else makes the report.
oh man, Ridley Scott didn't he wasn't a fan of Aliens,
No, he wasn't.
nor the direction that it went, which is so funny because like everyone was like, oh well, why it's so stupid that they did this with the alien because now it's just a creature that we made. It's like, but that was always the intention. It was obviously always something that was man-made, or at least made in some way.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the horror for Alien is that these are wild animals that we can't control,
Yes.
and Predator is the opposite. It's aliens that consider us to be wild animals that they hunt.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it's appealing to our fear in two different ways: the fear that something isn't under our control, or the fear that we're being treated like we treat animals.
That's hard to beat the money.
Mhm.
Just don't forget it's hazard pay.
Hazard pay. If only they knew. They should have had that box better held together. This is the fun part. You just, or at least you have the ceiling, but if someone steps on you, you die.
Yeah, which is so funny considering the durability of facehuggers.
Yeah, I mean, let's see.
I mean, just the Xenos in general, but the facehuggers.
Right. I mean, you figured if someone stepped on them, they would die too from the acid.
Or have a very, very unhappy day.
Right. I mean, it's fun because it makes the game challenging because you have to, not be stepped on and be careful. But it is a good part about this game is that what it means to be a facehugger and don't get seen, don't get stepped on.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going, Toby? Either of you remember the name of that auditor that was in here last week?
The one with the nice ass.
Why, are you in love or something? I'm supposed to review the report, but she hasn't sent it over yet.
Meanwhile, you're a facehugger looking to find a piece of ass.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure it was Sandoval. I'll try both. Ask her if she's dating anybody.
Yeah, it always like boggles my mind that they never made like a proper stealth like thief style,
Right.
AVP game.
Right. This is perhaps the closest thing you actually get to it. No, Chaos, you didn't miss too much. We're some part of the way through, but we're going into the Alien campaign of a dead game. Oh. And this is the other fun part. I mean, you never know what aliens do, obviously. It's a fear factor, but in these Alien versus Predator games, you eat people to kill yourself. I mean, wait, actually, I'm wrong. There was the alien eating a person in Alien 3, so this isn't the first time. But
Requiem had one.
oh, wait, the alien ate somebody? Was eating someone and it got angry, so it attacked the people watching it? I don't think I finished Requiem.
Yeah, in Requiem, there's after the bullies attack the pizza boy in the pool because for some reason the girlfriend's like, he's a pizza boy. I'm way turned on.
That scene was it was tough.
Yeah,
I mean, it works for the dark, but it was in the dark. It's hard to see things.
Everything in that movie was in the dark. The sun was in the dark. Yeah, they briefly show one of the Xenos pulls out one of the bodies and starts eating him with the inner jaw.
Right.
Also, hello, Chaos. How you doing? Good. Good. I'm glad to hear.
Good. So now you're still tiny, but it's funny because this is this part you're coming to where you fall, you go into the furnace, but obviously you got to be careful. So I just liked Alien vs. Predator 2, and it's sad the game is dead because this game had a much more difficult survival mechanic with the alien at the start. Much more.
It's interesting how he just kind of sat there and let himself be eaten.
Yeah, it's one of those glitches in this game. You just eat the person's foot, and he can't do much. I mean, you think that even if you're biting someone's leg, they would at least take out a knife and stab you or something, but I guess not.
I can't. Every time I see him waddling around, I can't help but think of the parody from Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, yeah. Hey, Chaos, this is Alien vs. Predator 2. It's a dead game in copyright limbo because it was done by, as you talked about this earlier, it was done by Sierra rather than Rebellion Software. But then it went back to Rebellion Software, so this is lost. The copyright for this one is lost. Technically, the only one you're supposed to have is the disc for either PlayStation 2 or PC. So, good luck.
Oh wow, that's funny. I don't know if the truck moves again. Pay attention to the wheels. The wheels and everything are actually designed like their skin actually has a light point instead of it being a single tone across the whole wheel and affected by the light. There's like there's a top right section that's light and it'll rotate.
Yeah, that was a cool part about this game. I'm not sure where the lighting that we got in Doom 3 began. I know part of it was easily this one. And when we talk about Halo, it's going to be talking about how a lot of things didn't start with Halo, but Halo kind of refined mechanics that existed already into something that was a little more streamlined.
Yeah. Well, when did this one come out again?
This is
said,
2001.
Oh yeah, then it
Rebellion
precedes Doom 3.
Yeah, so Rebellion was somewhere else, but Rebellion did develop the 2010 one again. But Sierra came out with some good ones like Empire Earth and the first Half-Life.
Yeah, way to make a very long-standing series that is sure to continue no matter what. With Half-Life.
Oh, you ate the cat. Why?
Oh, finally, we got Josie.
It's funny because you never see cats die.
Only survivor of this series, my ass.
What the hell is that? Let's get out of here.
He ate the cat. That's what.
Run like hell.
How many cats did you eat? I'm trying to remember.
I have no idea. But apparently this whole game takes place in Springfield, Ohio.
Yeah, this one's actually in a corporate facility.
Balls, that jump was crazy.
Yeah. And now it's time for more lunchtime.
I do like that it's a bit more slowed down than from the first one.
Oh.
Jesus. Oh God.
He's just on top of him.
Yeah, it's a glitch. Come on, you're... Oh, it's a corporate guy. It's not an android. Never mind.
Yes, flail around with your alien martial arts.
Yeah. Oh, Springfield, Illinois. I've heard of that before. This is back to 2010, but
Sure.
But again, just going back to how much I like you can punch it out with aliens.
Yeah, and the block mechanic wasn't too bad either.
And it's funny also how your claws get glow after you kill so many of them.
Yeah.
And that's the glory kill.
It's so funny how all these games play fast and loose with the damage of the acid and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, in the 2010 game, they explained it as Predator has the opposite of alien blood. Their blood is alkali, so it cancels out the alien blood.
Yeah, it's like the end of because like this death or that glory kill was from Alien vs Predator Requiem, because when he's fighting the Predator, he grabs it and rips it out.
He grabs the tongue and cuts it out. Yeah. Never mind the continuity, like total continuity screw up that Requiem would involve.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
not to mention
pull up the middle of Colorado. You can't just say nothing.
Yeah, not to mention that like when he rips out the tongue, it just starts vomiting up blood profusely. It's like, well, the predator's dead. Like he is just dead.
Right.
On my way.
Even more funny was the fact that in the movie Alien, they were actually using styrofoam for the acid effect in the first film.
Oh, it was a clever trick. Looks great.
It's styrofoam and acetone, which is, you know, in real life that's poisonous if you mix those two together, but it worked very well to make it look like the metal was being dissolved. Yeah, I did like it how you could mess around with the various equipment.
Yeah, by just being Doom Guy and smashing everything.
Yeah.
We need those fences back online.
Uh-oh. The fence is down.
Xenos in the compound. There he is.
There he is! Damn! A riot!
It's a jailbreak.
Looks like
Only I get to collect the alien heads from this jailbreak.
Mm-hmm.
And there was also the cheesy part. I didn't finish the game for recording it, the original Alien one, but the whole Xenoboard thing looks like it was hilarious. Because somehow the company made a cyborg that was an alien with a laser, but it's like, your thing is easy to kill. If you just use the spear. It's also crazy how far in the 2010 game you can just jump.
Oh, yeah. Not that the Predator hasn't been shown to make great leaps anyway, but still.
Well, they did in Alien vs. Predator 2004, where they just like jumped across the hallway in the scene where they
when they're the first
in the pyramid.
engagement.
Yeah, and they see it and they try shooting at it, but it jumps across the hallway. But I at least like the fact that you can win as the Predator in these games.
Keep your eyes peeled for Xenos.
Defeat those humans and defeat those xenomorphs.
The colonists must have been dumping their waste out here for years. There's something moving around in here.
And it ain't no man.
Yeah.
Such a good one. It's the culmination of all these games. And it was great to have Rebellion back.
Mm-hmm. I do wish this ended up getting a sequel. They could have refined so many of the mechanics.
Yeah, but then again, they did it. They used their efforts on Colonial Marines and the other Alien Fireteam and Dark Descent and Alien Isolation. So I'm bittersweet about it.
Yeah. I never went through and played the DLC for Fireteam Elite. I played the hell out of the base game and like capped out each of the classes, but I never did get around to doing the rest of the campaign.
Yup, Dan of the bar jack. Billy was really spooked.
And it ain't no man. Yeah, how much of a badass you have to be to, intimidate Sonny Linden? The dude had a bodyguard for other people.
He went on his own terms. That's all I've got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Come on out, motherfucker. Hold tight, I'll be there.
Sounded like it came from here. Is that movement?
But as we're going to finish this up, we'll get back to the main page.
Sure.
So, So a few bits of news. Sale on Steam. Satisfactory is a new Steam game. Factory Business Simulator. They put the Marvel vs. Capcom games 1 through 3 into one big collection for purchase on Steam. And next time we're going to be talking about the Alien games up till now with Fireteam, Colonial Marines, Alien Isolation. Should be pretty fun next week. Are you still on Fallout, Albelio? So I think I'll stop by that one.
Yeah, I need to try and finish up Fallout, and as long as I don't get stuck doing a lot of stupid crap again, I should be able to finish it in the next at least 2 runs. I don't know how much more I got to go, but I should be able to finish up Fallout, and after that, I think it's just going to continue Rings of Power.
Okay. So yeah, I had a poll. Everyone wants me to play Metal Gear Solid. So aside from Curse of Darkness, I'll be playing the original Metal Gear Solid.
Sweet.
So last thoughts. Hey everyone, thank you for visiting. We're going to have this as a as a compilation of these 3 episodes for whatever happened to the Alien games, and then we're going to be talking about Halo games next. Should be fun. So again, you got plenty of Halo games using the Master Chief Collection, and I'm just going to say thank you for watching. Be safe out there, and until we meet again, farewell.
Yep. Thanks for coming, everybody.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is a new episode of Whatever Happened to the Game. This is Adrian from Eastern Pennsylvania. Enjoying the day.
Hi there.
So today is our third and last episode of Whatever Happened to the Alien game. We're going to be talking about the newest Alien game up until the present, with Fireteam Elite. A little recap here because there are things in a way tie into earlier predecessors. But first thing, we recommend Steam. All the new games and keeps your old games updated. It's great. Going later on that sale, and it is Konami has a sale on Steam right now for Metal Gear Solid and for Contra games. So if you're interested in a Contra game, you can get it real cheap this week. And our recent work. So how is your recent work going, Albelio?
Well, this one took 1 million attempts to get uploaded, but it did upload, and I hope everybody enjoys it.
Yeah. I felt your
soon.
season 1 finale of that Rings of Power was pretty funny.
Thank you. I'm hoping it's just as bad because it's looking like it's going to be.
Yeah, and this live stream, I was going to let you know, this live stream has a poll, so put a vote in it. We're going to talk about what game franchise would you see after Halo. Also, in 2025, we're going to be talking about films, so it'll be a little fun. I'll have a poll on my community tab about what kind of film you want me to do commentary on. But this one for me recently is explaining Lords of Shadow as an alternate Castlevania timeline. It's a little fun. I had a fun time making it. So
good.
Goes on, and so this is a recap because this is how Alien vs. Predator, which took over the Alien games for a while. So for a while, for about a decade, we had Alien vs. Predator being the Alien games definitively for a while. You had Rebellion Software, but it started from a Dark Horse comic, which I showed the cover up here on the top of this page, of this presentation page, where they first did Alien vs. Predator in 1989. So they did it before they had the Easter egg in Predator 2, actually. I didn't know that until I looked up more about how the comics publication history ran.
Yeah, a lot of people tend to attribute it to Predator 2.
Right. I realized that it was in the Dark Horse comics in the year before that. And I guess the more you read, the more you know. But after the era of Alien vs. Predator, which essentially ended for video games, except for mobile games, which I'm not really going to cover, I don't feel they are as significant. So the era of Alien vs. Predator in games ceased to be a focus in 2010. And after that, they started going back to just focusing on aliens in games. So we have our prelude to these alien games that happened during the 90s up to 2000, where they had alien first-person shooter games. And that's a precursor right there, because the games we're going to be talking about are played in the first person, except for Dark Descent. So, and here's a fun little fact that you see on the bottom here. While it was not the beginning of the first-person genre, John Carmack stated in an interview, and I have the link to this interview right here, that you can watch the video of, in which John Carmack is being interviewed about the making of the Doom games. He said that one of the three biggest inspirations for Doom were Dungeons and Dragons, Aliens, and the Terminator.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So yes, the Alien inspired the first-person genre. So first one today is Colonial Marines.
Yeah, this absolute travesty.
It was a hell in the making, but part of it was because Borderlands and Duke Nukem Forever were on Gearbox Software's priority back then. So they delayed it and put it off for years. So it ended up taking 6 years to come out with Aliens Colonial Marines.
Yeah, the blame game afterwards was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and in the lower right-hand corner, here's the concept art designer they finally got to finish the project, to get the project rolling, Sid Mead. He also did artwork for the more recent Blade Runner 2049 as well. The great thing about this game is you can have up to 4 players getting together on the internet on the same team. Because before then it was mainly, a Halo game where you're either against each other or doing 2-player co-op. This was up to 4 players on the same team in the campaign. Hi, Chaos. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, buddy.
So I'm going to go in here and we're going to take a look at Alien Trilogy, just see the primitive template for what became Colonial Marines later. Then we're going to watch Colonial Marines.
Sure.
All right. So
Yes, the good old atmospheric times.
Well, hey, at least this wasn't an N64 controller. At least if you were lucky, you could get the analog PlayStation controller at the time it came out. Still.
Yeah, it's too bad the analog didn't actually work on most games because it wasn't made for them.
Right. But back then, I really feel like the analog joystick was better than I mean, Nintendo 64, as I said before, was great for Mario and third-person games. It's not good for first-person at all. The controller, anyway.
Well, Perfect Dark would beg to differ.
I mean, yeah, I got good at playing some games that are first person, like GoldenEye or N64, but I don't know. A lot of these is a little bit difficult. GoldenEye had auto aim.
I do like this like section that loads one bit at a time. It's a clever use of making sure your PS1 doesn't die when loading stuff.
Yeah, this is also one of the earlier games for checkpoint saves. So when you finish missions or got around halfway through the mission, it would save the game for you, which would later get used, as we all know, in Halo. The checkpoint system, anyway. Yeah. But as you can say, the shotgun is a broken weapon in this game. It's just so powerful.
Makes sense. Because otherwise he was running around with a pistol.
Right, I'm just saying. The shotgun in this game, you can play through most of this game with just a shotgun. I mean, the ammunition is pretty plentiful, and there's so much power per shot. So it's more of a challenge to actually try using something other than a shotgun.
Do you like the music?
I do. It's pretty good for back then. But I do feel that the Aliens Colonial Marines took some of what we had mechanically in Alien Trilogy or Alien Resurrection and got
destroyed it.
Yeah, streamlined it is what I usually say, more or less. It had a better. I'd say it had a better not variability, but it was a little more balanced in the various weapons you could use in Colonial Marines. The one thing I'll say about Colonial Marines is it made some retcons in terms of how it works, in terms of the plot that it set up for itself.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
The part where Hicks didn't actually die. I mean, I don't know. I did feel I'm mixed on that. Plus, there's another Bishop. So
can't have an Alien game without Bishop.
I mean, aliens, plural, yeah.
Well,
because apparently in Alien, they recently copy pasted Ian Holmes' face for Rook.
Oh God, it was bad. It was so bad, dude.
I know. It's just even then, I wish they didn't CGI that with the Uncanny Valley. I wish they did at least do a model cast of Ian Holm. Which they can do that. They can make a good even if it's rubber, they can make a good face recreation of what Ian Holmes looked like, and I would prefer that over CGI.
True, but that means they would have also had to dig him up.
Actually, today we can have a good 3D scan of what someone used to look like.
But yeah, I do wonder if somebody's got the old Ash prop. Probably could have used that.
Oh yeah, the head. Yeah. I probably shouldn't have said that. Now. So, full screen. There we go. So this is the early part of the game.
Yeah, if there was ever a game that had so much promise, it was this one. What a shame, too.
Yeah.
Because, like, especially you get through that first, you get through like you end up watching the trailer, and then you get through that first area, and you're like, oh, that's cool. They changed this, but that makes sense because that was for a trailer. And then you go try to do more of it, and then you're just like, this is nothing at all like they claimed it would be.
Yeah, and here's the thing. How do you feel about the fact they keep making bishops and aliens? Like, I don't know. I figured there would be more androids out there. Maybe it's more of a Terminator thing, like how they always make Arnold Schwarzenegger be the image of the Terminator, but in the
for
first
no good
film,
reason.
Really, because even in the first film, Kyle Reese remembers the one that was not Arnold, but Franco Colombo, another.
Yeah, exactly.
And he didn't recognize it because he didn't see a Terminator that looks like that yet. But I don't know. I mean, how many Bishop copies do there have to be? I mean, I think that there's more than one person that they based androids off of, and that's one thing I didn't complain about in Covenant or Prometheus, is they at least came up with David instead of Bishop or Ash.
Yeah, and I get mass production of all of that, but still, it's like.
I mean, you still have variants. I mean, there's different variants of, say, a Subaru Impreza. Like, there's different bodies. Just because you say Subaru Impreza, well, what kind? There's like several variants of it at least, and that's only for the make, for the year. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd think that they would take the time to actually produce more of. Well, they actually kind of experimented with that, way back in Alien 3, because they had the human Bishop.
Well, there's this conspiracy theory that he isn't actually, that the Bishop they met, you find in Alien 3 wasn't actually a human. He's also another Bishop, but again, it's just a theory. He could be a person that's just really tough when it comes to getting his face scratched and his ear pulled off, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was watching a video by Alien Theory, which is a really big Alien dedicated channel, and I think he actually went through and explained that he's supposed to be human. There's actually a deleted scene that adds a little bit more context to it, but I'd have to dig that video back up.
Right. I mean, Alien Theory is a good trail. I do recommend him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
I will be right back.
All right. See you then. Oh, yes, this is released. It ended up being released in 2013. So yeah, 2013. So yeah, as you mentioned earlier, this had a 6-year development hell involved in making the game, because they wanted to do Duke Nukem Forever or Borderlands 2. So it was a little bit behind, and it was somewhat disappointing. It did sell over 1 million copies in North America, and it sold, and it did get positive reviews overall. But they did some retcons, such as how Hicks is still alive and didn't actually die. So yeah, I hope that answers you, Chaos. It was 2013. And the next year, another game came out in which we were going to take a look at that one. So we're going to be taking a look at the next year, and that will be Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation. So yeah, Alien Isolation was a big change. Yeah, they do, Dan. Yeah, they do. So, yeah, Alien Isolation was a big change. Yeah, they do, Dan. Yeah, they do. So the big change here is that unlike in Alien games, you can't just kill the aliens. You actually have to avoid and try and escape a space station with an alien on it. And that's more in line with the original Alien film. And you were playing as Amanda Ripley, the daughter of Ellen Ripley. And I'm not sure how much of a retcon this is. Officially, the story was that her daughter died when she got back. And the daughter would be like in her 60s or 70s, and they can be aliens. But that's just the story. The only other part we know about is that there was a deleted scene, which is not the official part of the film. It's a deleted scene where Ripley talks to her daughter on a last phone call, and her daughter's, not too happy that she's been gone so long, and wants to know why. But in this game, you're playing as her daughter, Amanda, and you are trying to survive an alien, just like her mother before her. So it's interesting because it takes a completely different approach from the previous Alien games, where you go around shooting aliens like it's Doom. So we're going to be going into that one, and that should be pretty fun as well. So Alien Isolation also marked a time where it was mainly Sega that published Alien games. So it's interesting. So and it's funny. I like the beginning. I like how they do the very old-looking 20th Century Fox fanfare to start this off, more or less. It's just so great and so much in theme with how the Alien movie opens back in 1979. It's a lot of nostalgia, but at the same time, it's very great in terms of theme to just deliver it and start with the audience who is playing the game, introducing that you're in the, and even the intro by Ellen Ripley herself. More or less. Yeah, they are. Lawyers. Gotta love them. Yeah, Chaos, it is perhaps the best recent Alien game I've seen in a long time. And still, even though it's 10 years later, I still like it. Even now, it's available on phones at this point. It's that much of a classic.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I started giving an introduction to Alien Isolation, but we're just beginning. I was just mentioning how great the opening is in terms of keeping the thematics of the original 1979 Alien film, with the Fox
Oh.
fanfare and the Sega logo showing up.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's funny. The first time I ever actually played this, I ran into the door glitch and I had to restart the whole game.
Yeah.
Granted, it was like 5 minutes prior to this, but it's like, why is this still a thing?
Yeah, this game had glitches. Like one of the weirdest ones I think is when you get at, like, if I got the alien stuck in the door, it stays there.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't move. It doesn't leave the door. It just stays in the door. Even if you open the door, it's stuck there. So it hog ties the alien so it can't get you.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you close the door on it. And there's so many glitches, but I think it got better after release. But this is part of what people complain about with today's games, is that they're kind of incomplete, and you wonder, okay, did they test this for quality yet? But I do enjoy how it's not just shoot 'em up. It's you gotta avoid it, sneak around it, hide.
Yeah, the mechanics for the alien drive me nuts though, because it'll hear you in a whole nother area and it won't leave you alone once it finds that you're in there.
Right. Unless you hurt it, and it will run away for a while, and you gotta run, get moving. Yeah, I'm skipping this because I want to get to the part where you actually have to sneak and worry about surviving. So you finally get into the station, and this is it. What's gone wrong?
And they absolutely do a bang up job making sure you feel tension, because like the whole time you're walking in there, you're like, oh god, where's the alien?
Yeah, and it's even better with the if you have headphones on and you hear the surround sound. It's like you're in there. Everything, like you hear it like it's behind you.
Yeah, and since they like mislead you a little bit, because like they have so much they do so much time give so much time setting things up, making it look like or showing you like how bad everything went. And
Yeah,
by that time, because like in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I know the alien it's in here somewhere. I just don't know where. And then you get to like the 45 or hour, depending on how long it takes you to get through that opening, and then it shows up, and you're like, oh.
that's it. And it's the first victim you find right here, or one of the first ones. Yeah, he got gutted. Man, I find that interesting. I usually thought they bit you in the head. I guess it went for his gut for some reason. I don't know. And this it's even better when you're using it on a console and you feel with the vibrations when you're trying to turn turn the pull the levers. It adds a little more to the atmosphere. So if I were actually playing this, I'd be feeling vibrations when I'm trying to turn the wrench and undo the seal on this door.
Yeah, two of the harshest lessons I learned about this game is that, one, because it can obviously, hear you in other rooms and whatnot. The second is that when you're doing other things, it'll still kill you. Even if you're saving, it'll just
Yeah,
run up and murk you.
very much. And you can't always have the motion sensor up or motion tracker up all the time either.
Yeah, no, it can hear the motion sensor pinging. The AI in this game is genuinely impressive. I would say that it's a little too good at times.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it does take you a while to see the alien. Nah, I just had to skip. I wanted to
All
use the
good,
part where
all
you got
good.
a flamethrower here.
Yeah, there are some really long sections that where you're just kind of moping around doing not a whole lot.
Oh. And the crazy part is the alien. Not only can it find you, but it can like pull the lid off, and get you inside a locker or in a vent. You're not even safe in there.
Oh yeah, it was one of those things that you learn the hard way through gameplay, because I'm not far into the game. I don't have a great deal of time to relax and do a whole lot, but I was playing through not too long ago, and I was hiding in I had to get through the med lab area.
Right.
Ended up getting through the area, got into the next room, the next section where I had to relax to just wait. And not only did it hear the motion sensor pinging, it walked into the room, and I thought, oh, great. And I'm already not a very fast reader, right? I'm like a cross-eyed turtle when it comes to this.
Right.
And so I see this little, it leans into my locker, and I'm like, I wonder what that is. And I look down to read the prompt, and before I could finish reading it, it rips the door open and kills me. And I was like, what the hell? So I looked it up online. You're supposed to hold your breath.
Right.
If it gets too close, you have to hold your breath. And I'm like, no, I didn't know.
Yeah, I think it was my second time trying to play through this. That's when I found out this thing can get you inside a vent. It will pull the vent cover off and get you in there.
Yep.
And in many older first-person shooter games, you're basically safe by going inside a vent, unless they can shoot into it, which often they can't. So I was like, wait, it can get me in there? What?
Mhm.
It can get me. I'm not safe anywhere.
Yeah, it is an impressive AI. There's no arguing that. Did he just not overwrite his save?
Yeah, he did. He did.
What a mad lad.
Oh, I hate this part. This is one of those cases where you have the necessary stupidity to drive a horror plot in action. Don't pull the switch, you're gonna blow something up. Don't do it. Oh. Ah, shit. No, it's not, you dumbass. It's not safe.
Yeah, you still have like an 8-foot problem walking around the station. But yeah, sure, it's totally safe.
I'm going to do a little bit more before we go into Fireteam Elite and Darkness. There's the alien, finally.
Yeah, there's the alien.
I was so glad when I finally found a flare. Because that's like one of the few things you can actually distract it or decoy it with.
Yeah, knowing my luck, as soon as I popped the flare and threw it, it wouldn't have taken the shortest route. It would have ran straight into me.
Oh. Yeah, it's an around the corner trick. It's tough to master. You can't be like directly lined up with the flare if you want to trick it.
Oh yeah, I know.
But yeah, you don't see. That's what I like about it is it goes off the usual path of shooting up aliens like a Doom game, and more into the run away and don't get caught.
It is a nice change of pace.
So now we're talking about Aliens Dark Descent, and yes, the rumors are true. It is hard because it's very different. It is a real-time strategy game where you are commanding a group of Marines. So you aren't in there shooting, you are ordering groups of the Marines to do it. And unlike, say, Command and Conquer or Warcraft games, you can't just build more Marines out of barracks. So you have to make sure to use all your team members wisely. There are some things. Yeah, no, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. It's like everyone's got one life, right?
Yeah, and you are like a it's like, you know how in Command and Conquer or the early Warcraft games you give commands to your team members or your soldiers. That's what you do here, and I'm going to show it a little demonstration. But that's what you do here.
Sure.
It's not the easiest thing to do with an Xbox, but the cinematics are great. So there's two things that they introduced. One is a cultist, which is in the upper right-hand corner, and the Titan, which is right below him. The biggest xenomorph seen so far.
Gotcha.
And if you ever had any doubts about aliens eating humans, the Titan uses its inner jaw to reach out, grab a person, and it swallows the person whole. It's like 40 feet tall. No, 40 feet long with the tail, like a school bus size.
Wow. Okay.
Biggest xenomorph yet. I think so. I don't know about the Alien Homeworld and the Dark Horse comics. They might have bigger queens.
I was gonna say the Empress maybe. But cool. So I like that there's cultists because that was one of the Dark Horse comics. I just don't remember which one off the top of my head. Because the idea of cultists have always been played with.
Were the Dark Horse comics related to the Aliens novels by Steve Perry?
I do not know.
Because I read part of the Steve Perry novels, Earth Hive, The Female War, and they said they're about aliens that come to Earth. So if xenomorphs reach Earth, so I'm wondering if
that reminds me that damn show is supposed to come up soon. There's like an aliens show that's supposed to take place on Earth. And it's supposed to prelude. It happened before like the whole series. So I have no idea what the hell it's supposed to be about.
The corporation, maybe?
I don't know. I don't trust it.
So here is what we see in Dark Descent. You have four team members here, and you have to do orders. So you have Harper, Latimer, and Ruiz, and you have to give orders. There's different abilities like flares, flashbang grenades, because apparently sound hurts aliens, according to the games.
They were probably just looking for another option.
Yeah.
So is this all turn-based, or is it in-game actual real-time?
It's real time and you can pause it. So right here I pause. You pause it to give orders. So I want to, in this one they're changing stance. So they're saying, okay, one guy does a suppressive fire, so he's covering for you in the back. But you can pause to give it more orders.
Interesting. Okay.
So there's a lot of different moves you could do. But suppressive fire is probably my most common one I use in this one because it's, you're trying to, they're coming after you in a hallway, so you better fire backwards and get them while they're chasing you. And you can even see the ammo counters for your squad members' weapons.
Oh, I see. Okay. And thankfully, the game also looks good.
It is. It was last year actually. They released this. But yeah, the cinematics are pretty nice. But I'll get to the cultist scene in a little bit.
Sure.
And of course, the aliens destroyed the whole ship by getting on board.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, they'll die when they fall into the atmosphere.
Well, you don't know. Now that Romulus happened, you have no idea if they could survive that kind of descent.
They still burn and they still die from bullets.
Sure.
I mean, the only issue I had with Romulus was how do you find it? They don't have a thermal signature, and they're an object that's smaller than a ship in space. They aren't giving off any signal.
Yeah, believe me, I was not happy when I saw that, and that was 30 seconds into the movie. I was like, no,
I mean,
bad.
finding it, it's like bringing back the Death Star. I mean, sure, but for me, anyways, that's why I like Knights of the Old Republic. It wasn't a Death Star; it was something else.
Mm.
So this is the cultist part.
Yeah, the good old welder.
In one piece. Doesn't mean an alien just put a hole in it. Space termites put a hole in them, I guess. Oh, shit. This is where you realize the alien sprayed everywhere.
Mm-hmm. That smart gum looks a little small.
Yeah.
Isaac?
I said, you mean LaFerez?
It looks like Isaac from Dead Space because of the glowing components
glowing
on the suit.
Yeah, well, that's not just anything that's glowing on that cultist. It gets worse.
Okay.
It gets worse. You'll find out what's glowing on the guy in a little bit. The glowing is an actual incubation hole in his body, holding an alien in it.
Oh, look at that.
It's a frozen chest burster.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, he mentally communicates with the chest burster in his body. It's weird.
Oh, okay. So they're doing the okay. Because the aliens, in particular, the Empress and Queen, have a bit of a telepathy that they can use to
Right.
communicate with the rest of the hive.
Yeah. Well, the cultists in this game, like him, they do that too.
Mm. I'm not a big fan when you start to get into telepathy and psychics in series, because the rules are always so vague.
Yeah. I kind of like the early X-Men movies because there's kind of limitations to it. But I didn't like, if you ever talk about the X-Men movies, I kind of just don't like how much they limited Xavier. Obviously, there were limitations in the special effects, possibly, but I feel they limited him a bit too much in most movies except First Class. But First Class is when he's younger, so. And I'll show the Titan because I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, the guy was able to tell an alien to come out of him and attack the people in the lab.
Uh-huh. So I take it there's more than just one of these cultists.
Oh yes, there's at least several.
Yeah. Oh my, that thing's huge.
Yes, the Titan. So, oh, sorry, I watched it before. I couldn't resist.
All good. All good.
Even big, probably because it came out of this thing that's bigger than a space jockey. So this is Necropolis,
Okay.
City of the Dead, or at least that's what the Marines are calling it.
Is this another space jockey or engineer ship?
Yeah, well, this is a city of the space jockeys.
Oh.
But the cultists wanted to use Cassandra to make a new alien queen.
Okay.
And your mission in Dark Descent is to get Cassandra out of there. But this is where you get the Titan.
Holy balls.
That is huge.
Oh.
Yep, it's going to swallow this guy whole. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Don't worry, it doesn't have hind legs.
Oh, that's convenient.
But the whole part of this mission is you have to run from it. That's all you can actually do because it's so huge.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't imagine you'd be able to do much against that.
You need a bigger weapon to do something. Like, you need to drop a big bomb on it. Run, you idiot.
Yeah, well, so much for that.
Yeah, so. But no.
Good lord.
It's a great game where you're just mostly just ordering your soldiers around.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
Cool.
Yeah. So in the meantime, Konami skills on Steam. This is our last little bit. Konami games on sale include Metal Gear, Contra, and Rocket Knight Adventures. I haven't heard of Rocket Knight before.
Been a long time.
Coming up next, whatever happened to Halo, and there in 2025, that will be Whatever Happened to podcast dedicated to films. I'm going to be playing live with Curse of Darkness tomorrow. I'll be playing Metal Gear Solid today because that's what my poll votes were. And you're going back to? Are you still on Fallout this weekend?
I intend on actually streaming this Friday to continue Fallout and hopefully, I doubt it, but hopefully finish the game, and then I can get into Order of Ecclesia. and I will probably get my next Rings of Power video out. If it's not tomorrow, it'll most likely be Saturday.
All right.
Because this whole month for myself and my family and whatnot, this whole month just got turned on its head, to say the least.
It happens. It happens. So everyone, thank you for coming. We're going to take a week off, and then whatever happened to Halos are going to be happening the week after this week. So this Thursday we won't have a new stream. I'll be putting together all the Alien episodes into one, and you'll have a video premiere next week instead. In the meantime, until we meet again, farewell.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
So as this volume draws to a close, I want to welcome you and thank you for stopping by to give a little visit to the podcast of Whatever Happened to the Game. And hopefully you enjoyed and had a nice time visiting here this evening on Thursday night. And I hope you have a nice time. In the meantime, there are links to both myself, my own channel, and to Albelio's channel, who is a guest on these episodes of the series. And I want to wish you a wonderful evening, and you can stop by the channel and related links in the description. Get some Vampires Rule merchandise, or you can just check out some jokes I have every now and then on Instagram. It should be pretty fun. In the meantime, hope you have a wonderful evening, and until we meet again, farewell.